Turn our attention to education sector now, where the Minister of Education, Maruf Tuji Alausa, has assured Nigerians that the age limit in seating for the National Examination Council and West African Examination Council is no longer 18, but 16 years. He also mentioned that 80% of the education curriculum will be practical and 20% theoretical. We have more here.
Nigerian education system has faced a lot of challenges like lack of funding, qualified teachers, basic infrastructure, digital literacy, among other issues. This has affected the education system over the years as it has increased massive unemployment because the system has produced graduates who do not have skills for the workforce in the 21st century. It is why this ministers under Bola Tinubu administration is determined to change the narrative. At this meeting, the Minister of Education, Maruf Tuji Alausa, disclosed that the ministry's aim is to provide sustainable solutions to Nigeria's education system.
We will not be going forward with the 18 years. We will go back to where we had before, 16 years. We will work with John and our university to ensure that people that are matriculating into our universities will be around 16 years.
He also explained that 80% of education will now focus on practical, while 20% will focus on theoretical teachings.
We will heavily focus on practical training. 80% of the education will be on practical training, and 20% will be on theoretical classroom-based. We will engage private sector artisans, where we will now we will incentivize them to take this as students, train them competently in this vocational training.
The minister talked about how the federal government intends to transform the education sector.
How we aggressively focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths. And there's a second end to that STEM, medical sciences. Today, we're bedeviled with lack of manpower to service our hospital, to provide care for our people. We will focus and redirect our efforts on STEM.
The education sector will now prioritize civic education to encourage patriotism among young Nigerians across the country.
All right, joining us live is public affairs analyst Kemia Ashepin. Of course, we're talking about education here. If you look at it, it's something that is worth talking about. Absolutely. But first of all, good morning.
Good morning, Demola.
It's nice to have you
here again. Absolutely. Where's Jane? Okay. My regards to her. I understand she's my birthday mate.
Oh, so. Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Arias.
Yes, absolutely. And happy birthday to her too when she comes aboard. Yes.
Okay. So, but let's first start from, what became a very controversial statement when the former Minister of Education, Mahmoud Tahir, was there, where he said that the age limit for education, for tertiary education, will be 18. Now, this current Minister of Education is reversing that particular policy and saying, come on, guys, let's go back to what we have, which is, of course, 16 years. How do we deal with that, the inconsistency of the Nigerian government policy?
You cannot call it inconsistency of the Nigerian government
policy. Well, you know why I call it inconsistency? It's government. If you need to give a policy, you should have, a lot has gone into it before you finally come in.
Let's start it this way.
Okay.
No one is infallible, right? And if you're going on a tangent and you realize that that tangent is not in the best interest of your people, right? The best thing to do is to reverse back. You cannot say because you want to be consistent on a policy, you stay consistent on a wrong policy. And let me put it this way. It was in the law that 18-year-olds are the only ones who can go into the university. It was there. It wasn't like the Tinubu government, brought it about. No, it was there. The immediate past minister looked at it and felt that it should be adequately implemented.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he did not look at the prevailing circumstances. The prevailing circumstances that happen today in terms of education are totally different from the prevailing circumstances that were in the age and time when the 18-year-old policy was put in place. So, unfortunately, the current, the immediate past...
You saw me roll my eyes.
I saw you rolling your eyes, but I will get to it. Unfortunately, the immediate past, minister felt that had to be mandatorily, executed. And of course, you're witness to the fact that there was a lot of uproar against it. In this age and time where education has changed in various ways, this is not the time to now say if you're not 16, you can't go to school. First things first, our young people have too much time on their hands. And that's the reason why you see a lot of that energy is being put into all sorts of things. So if you're smart enough to get admission at 16, why keep you at home? In fairness to the immediate past minister, his argument was they should go and learn a trade. They should go and learn something, a skill, But you cannot make that a mandatory thing when a person wants to go to school. Especially because this day and age, what you usually have is that people say if you're not, the youngest age for this employment is 25. Youngest age for this employment is 22. So if you're having that and you're now saying students should not go to school until they are 18, you're causing problems, right? And I must really, congratulate the new minister, Dr. Tunji Alausa, I believe, because that's what you call hitting the ground running. That was, for me, the most, that policy was one of the most scary things that the government was bringing on board, right? And if we campaigned, or if the campaign of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came up on renewed hope, we shouldn't dash the hopes of youth. So for him to come in and immediately scrap that shows that he's ready to, do the needful.
You know why I was rolling my eyes?
Why?
If it's a law, it's a law. Irrespective of how you feel. It's just like you saying going to the court of law.
Okay.
The court of law does not care about your emotions.
Okay.
What they care about is what is the fact on ground. Present me the fact on ground.
So I'll ask you.
Hold on now. Present me the fact on ground.
Okay.
If the fact on ground says, at this age, this is what is going to happen. It's just like you saying going to America.
Yeah.
And America says, this is what happens.
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'm the one asking the question.
No. Are laws made for men, or men are made for laws?
I'm the one asking the question.
Okay, ask me then.
Do you understand? So, if that be the case, don't you think that's why I call it inconsistency of the policy? Yeah, I get it. Where you say you review and say, okay, I think what we said is not it. But if what you said is not it, is not bound by the law, it's a different ballgame.
Okay, but hold on. Let's be clear. Who made this law?
Of course, men.
Aha, that's number one. Two, was it this government that made the law?
Of course not.
Good. And if this government comes in and happens to just dust up the law and say this is what the law says, and this is without prejudice to the fact that I know it's a policy, and all of that, but I cannot say for certain how strong it is as a policy. You understand? So if we now agree that laws were made for men, if a man finds out that the law contradicts the progress of his country, is he at fault to repeal it? Also keep in mind that in the last few years, 15-year-olds have gotten into school. I don't agree with that. 16 is just fine, right? 16 is just fine, right?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? I cannot tell right now. I have to go to school for that.
If you say 15, if you say 16,
yes.
What's the difference? 15, 16.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Because at age of, if a 16-year-old get into university,
yes,
a lady or a guy,
yeah,
is
Can I say
He's already thinking, one is already thinking, I want to have a boyfriend.
Is that what you did?
No, I'm just saying.
No, but
I'm just saying.
Let me just say this,
okay.
Right? With the way we have private universities coming up daily in Nigeria, getting accreditation and all of that, the school system that we had when it was mandatory for 18-year-olds to go to school is not the same that private universities operate. You know, I have words in private university, and I can tell you that they call it glorified secondary school. And if the child can get that degree, why not? You know, so for me, I'd say that it's not an inconsistent policy on the part of government.
It's because the government is not also doing its job. If the government was doing its job, what the private schools were doing is also out of line. How can you say somebody admitting somebody of 15-year-old, 14-year-old? Okay, I've seen 15-year-old.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Having niece.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, she's graduating now.
Okay.
She's 19, graduating now. And I'm like, okay, at your age, when I was at your age.
Was Jam being you?
No. I was in 100 level.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, and I'm just wondering, the government is not also doing its own beats. Monitoring who monitors the monitor.
Okay. So, and that was what the immediate past minister tried to do.
That's what I'm saying.
However, hold on. In the last few days, I saw, I think, a 20-year-old who graduated with a first class, you know, from a university. Why would I want to hold such a girl back? If she was smart enough to get into the university, say at 16, and was able to graduate with a first class at 20, why hold her back?
There are exceptions. Exceptions in
Who
terms
determines
of
the
no. Exceptions in terms of we've discovered that it happens in America. It happens in some very developed countries. Exceptions is that this person is, you know, brilliant, intelligent. You know, doesn't mean that you isolate one and forget the system, because that's practically what we're trying to do.
If a student is able to go to school and able to finish WAEC at 15 in flying colors, and able to pass JAM, right, in flying colors too, why hold them back?
Life is going to treat them differently.
Who says?
Life is going to treat them differently. No, see, let's just be also a bit more practical.
Okay.
No, life is going to treat them differently in terms of the way a 22-year-old or probably a 21-year-old who is in school will handle issues while in university is different from when a 17-year-old is in university and is faced with a whole lot of issues.
Okay, so this is what I would say to that. You see, the challenge I think you're having is that you're looking at the university education as it was while you were going to the university.
Because that's
do you understand? That's what the challenge is. You're not looking at the university education we are having now in an age and time where the internet is available, where AI is available, where so many developments.
But that's what the former minister was saying. You can also learn trade.
No, that's the challenge. In Nigeria, if you come back to your dad and says, Daddy, I have used AI to learn this, and this has been 2 years, and although I'm not a graduate, I want to go for a job. What would your dad say to you?
In this age and time?
Even in this age and time.
Yeah, is this age and time?
Most dads will say, you don't have a BSc, go get a BSc. Right? And that's one of the major challenges that we need to address. This is the new age where we have AI, we have internet. When we were growing up, there was nothing like that. You can practically teach yourself virtually anything you want on YouTube these days. You can even attend university, right? You can attend university lectures, University of California and Co. on YouTube. Yeah. You can learn whatever it is you want to learn there. So why hold them back?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It looks like it's almost... It looks like it's always
a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's, of course, public affairs journalist Kemi Ashekman. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll still have more for you live from Abuja. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.